What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another 10th edition video. We're not stopping. Forge World is here and now, and finally we have the full picture.
I know. Every
Games Workshop's going to come away, figure out a way to just give us more content, but we are all about it. I know you guys are all about it, so thank you so much for joining us. And today we're going to be doing, in this video, the Xenos factions. So a lot of stuff in Xenos. We're going to start with the Tau Empire and do Necrons, and then we're going to continue on into those Eldari forces.
I'm so excited
both
about
good
this.
and evil.
I know.
So it should be a lot of fun, and as always, please like the content, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about us, leave a comment letting us know what you're most excited for from the Forge World datasheets and how you plan to fit them into your armies. And if you want more advanced content, like focusing on all the stream games that we put on, 3 a week, they're in the War Room. We've got masterclasses and State of the Factions coming soon as well, and then 10-minute tips on all the different advanced tactics, how to take advantage of Overwatch, how to take advantage of rapid ingress, these stratagems which baseline seem solid, but man, when you use them at the peak efficiency, they are really quite crazy.
Rapid ingress is insane. I thought it was insane. I didn't realize how game defining it is until I started playing.
Same with Overwatch.
Yeah.
So a lot of the new things that are coming in 10th edition, there's ways to really get a lot of a big edge off of them, honestly.
Yes.
So if you want to check that out in the description below, theworm.vhx.tv, and there's a 3-day free trial to check it out as well. Just yesterday, we released Grey Knights vs. Sisters, which was exactly a game on how to try and screen out the entire game, while a Grey Knight army is like, you're going to struggle. So John twisted himself in a pretzel trying to screen out my Grey Knights in that game, and it was a really awesome, kind of breakdown of what 10th edition is all about. So please do check that one out. Now let's dive right in here, Mr.
I know. We have the Arvarna Battlesuit. So this is one of the Forge World Riptide variants. There are two. Move 8, toughness 10, 2-up save, 5 invuln, 15 wounds, leadership 7, and 4 OC. It's fine. I think it's pretty similar to Riptide.
Very similar. Doesn't have a 4-up invuln. Has a 5-up.
Which is sad. It's got D6 plus 2 shots, hitting on 4, so strength 8, AP 1, damage 2, blast. Not ignores cover. I think it has 2 of these guns. Yeah, but it has 2 pulse submunition cannons.
So they're not twin-linked, which is actually nice because you get decent volume of fire. The problem here is AP 1. Now,
and not ignores cover.
Tau are one of the few factions where you can get ignores cover if your observer is a unit with a marker-like keyword. So that's not the end of the world. But frankly, Strength 8, there's so many weapons that Tau have access to that are in Strength 8, and this is now competing with ones that can easily get AP 2. That's just not it. On top of that, it's a relatively slow platform, and let's go ahead and talk about its special rule here.
Okay, so it can shoot and fall back.
Yep.
And then
just
once
like
a battle, if it's targeted with a gun that has higher strength than its toughness, you can make it -1 to wound, which is useful.
Once per game.
Once per game.
That's the thing that should have stood out. This should have been the most durable of the Riptide.
This should be a permanent ability, not a once a game ability.
Exactly.
It also should have a 4-up invuln, not a 5-up invuln.
Yep.
And then you can ignore any hit or any all modifiers to the hit roll. So you can't make it hit on anything less than a 4. It's going to hit on 3s with an observer, but it's not heavy, so it can't hit on 2s. I don't know.
It's downright mediocre. You can switch over to the points.
Is it this one?
No, it's the other one.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay, points are, so the Arvarna is 235.
So it's the same exact cost as a Riptide.
I'd rather have a regular Riptide.
I would too.
Yeah.
As sad as it is, it's just not going to be doing enough, frankly.
It's really not. It doesn't have a role to fill. It's kind of there. Okay.
It is just, they probably rolled a bunch of D6 on the stats, and we're like, this is what it's going to be.
It's the old obliterator.
Yeah.
To roll for stats. The Yavara, I love this thing.
It used to be, in 8th edition, one of the best units in the game. It was very expensive for its points, but man, was it a killing machine. And then in 9th edition, they were like, no more of that.
Well, its flamer was damage 3, right?
It was AP 3, flat 3 damage.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
I have one. It's fun. I had some really cool, pink OSL effects. But it is not what it used to be.
They decided in that moment that the Yavarna will never see the table again.
No.
Because guess what? Their rules are still not better.
Yeah. So move 10, which is really not that fast.
It's supposed to be the fastest of the Riptide chassis. It used to move 14.
Toughness 9, which is not where you want to be in today's day and age. 2-up, 5-up, pretty whatever. 15 wounds, leadership 7, and 4 OC. It's got a flechette blaster, which who cares? Then it's got an ion discharge cannon, which if you overcharge it is D6 plus 1 shot, 18-inch range, strength 8, AP 2, damage 3. And then its flamer is 10 attacks, auto hit, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1, ignores cover, torrent.
Yikes.
Yeah, it really does not shoot that hard. Like, really just...
I believe it is much cheaper than it was before. It's like $230. It's around the same cost as a Riptide.
Yeah.
Fortunately, with its flamer weapon, it has the ability to ignore all hit modifiers, which is quite important. And it gets to fall back and shoot like the other Riptide chassis. And then its Nova Burst. Go ahead and read that.
So once battle, before this model makes a normal, advance, or fallback move, it can use its ability. You can change its move characteristics to 18. Again, this should just be in the whole time. It should just move 18.
Yeah. On top of this, it also used to have a once per game teleport.
Yep.
Or it wasn't even once per game. It was you can go into the sky and then come down. That was what put it over the edge.
Yeah.
Is its mobility. It's not mobile. It doesn't shoot as hard as the regular Riptide, or it shoots laterally at a different pace. It's not good.
It's really not good. Okay, how many points is it?
I think it's 235.
I'm going to move this over. The Yavara 235. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
same cost.
If this thing was like 150, I'd take it.
Still doesn't have a 4-up vault. Like, come on. What is going on here? Why are you wasting printer paper is the question. Like, come on. They didn't waste printer paper on this
Tetra
one.
is awesome.
Get to the shopping cart in Forge World, click 3 of those bad boys, and buy them right now.
Yeah, these are great. Amazing. So they're a Piranha stat line. Move 14. Why does the Yavara not
It's a
move
Piranha stat line for 40 points per model.
Yes, okay.
So for 80 points, you get 2 Piranhas. So it's 2 T7, 7 wound models. It's actually very tanky for what you get.
It's like shockingly tanky for 80 points. They have a pulse rifle, but who cares about that? And they don't do any damage in combat. But the reason you take these guys, because if they're an observer, they give their unit 4 rolls to hit.
That is where, so not only can you have units act independently, so like Shadow Sun doesn't need to babysit your ghost kills. So instead she's on a different flank, or you don't even have to take her. And you've got Tetras that just peek out one model, act as the observer. They've got the marker light keyword, so you're ignoring cover, and then full rerolls to hit. So if you have Shadow Sun plus a bunch of Tetras, your whole army's reroll. All the relevant damage dealers are rerolling hits.
Yeah, these things are amazing. They really help the damage.
They're fantastic. They're fast, relatively durable. They're everything you could possibly want. And they're infiltrators on top of this, so they can start up there with your ghost kills or your stealth suits at a good angle where they start getting damage in early.
Yeah, these things are great. Love Tetras. They're like 80 points, right, for 2?
80 points for 2 models. That's the minimum you could run. If you could run solo ones, you probably would. But honestly, 2 of them for 80 points is a steal. Money in the bank. Best. They completely changed Tau. They are such an efficient army.
A defining unit.
I was really hoping I was going to be able to run these guys on Wednesdays. Wasn't able to, but if you want to check it out, there's a stream game streaming right now from Mr. Scary from Scarcast on his channel, where I play Tetras into his Drukhari.
Nice.
And man, was he bemoaning the power of the Tetra.
All right, up next we have the Remora Stealth Drone. So not aircraft anymore.
Nope.
They're just vehicles. Move 16, toughness 6, 3-up save, 5 wounds, leadership 7, OC 0. They come with 2 Remora Seeker missiles, which are strength 14, AP 3, D6 plus 1 damage. So pretty solid, actually.
Yep, the Seeker missile profile.
And then a twin long barrel burst cannon, which is twin linked, 4 shots, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. So really not terrible offensive power.
Nope, they have the marker light keyword.
Which is really good. They're great observers. And then once per turn, when an enemy unit ends a move with a 9, they can move 6 inches, which is quite good.
It's a little bit of a janky mission thing. Now go ahead and click on its cost, which is 160, right? 80 per model.
Yeah. Ooh, not where you want to be.
So if you could run a solo one for 80 points,
I actually would like them.
I actually would quite like them, but 160 points for what you're getting, that is
not worth
the
it.
equivalent of 2 Tetra Observer units.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
I think these things compare very poorly to Piranhas.
They also compare poorly to Piranhas.
Yes.
They used to be very tanky because they'd get the bonus for counting as in cover, and they would get the
minus 1 hit from
the minus 1 hit from aircraft. So they were pretty tanky. Now they get it from stealth, but
they're fine.
The reason that I ran them in 8th edition and early 9th edition was because they were aircraft, and so they could only be charged by fly units.
Yes.
So they were a really good move blocker for non-fly. Not as relevant now, but it was still a reason to take them. Now, if you could take them in solo units, 100%, but because you have to buy 2 of them...
2 for 160 is just not worth it.
No. And no invuln on here. They just get obliterated by any of the anti-vehicle stuff.
Yeah. The Taunar Supremacy Armor, the Super Tuna.
Nobody loves the Taunar more than I do, and nobody hates the Taunar more than Nick does.
I know.
Nobody's been tabled by a Taunar more than Nick has.
I have a story. So, one of the first times I ever played Richard in a tournament, it was like middle of 8th edition. I was playing 3 Knight Gallants and 3 Blood Angels captains. And he had the Super Tuna and like 45 shield drones, and he deployed them all in concentric rings. And I had only melee, so I could never touch the Super Tuna. And he shot me to death in 2 turns. It was really funny.
Taunar plus screens was a very powerful tool. Now, this guy, spoilers, 685.
Yeah.
A lot cheaper than he has been. There was a point where he was like 750 or so when he was super good, and they immediately nerfed that. But he's been around like 1,000 points in general, where you can still build a decent Tau army around him. Now he's 685.
I really don't hate him.
So let's talk about him.
Okay, so what do you get? He moves 8, whatever. Toughness 13, which is quite good.
It's quite good.
2 up, 5 up with cover. Really good.
Castellan profile here.
Yeah. 30 wounds, which is a lot of wounds. Leadership 7 and OC 10. So he can hold an objective pretty well.
Yep. 5 up invuln, so no 4 up there, but still, at least you have an invuln.
Yeah.
But honestly, with 2 up sitting in cover against most armies,
don't need an
you're
invuln.
taking a 4 up against even most things.
Yeah, like Bright Lances give you a 4 up. While he's guided, you can reroll a hit of 1, which is quite good, because a lot of his guns are heavy, so you can sit there and just like shoot stuff. And then each time he makes a normal move, you can move over things. So what does he got? He has 1 gun up top, which I believe is either the railgun and the cluster shell launcher, or 3 of these things.
3 pulse ordnance drivers.
And then he has 2 arm guns, which are the ion cannon or the fusion eradicator.
Yep.
So, and then you have some like point defense
4
weapons.
SMS or burst cannons.
Yeah.
Kind of depends on
So
what you want.
not terrible, but not... Yeah.
4 of them, yeah.
Okay. So, the Fusion Eradicator, 5 shots, strength 10, AP 4, D6 damage, melt of 3. Not a terrible melt gun. Those are the arm guns.
Yep.
And then the Cluster Shell Launcher is 2d6 plus 6 shots, blast, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. And you get this with the Heavy Rail Cannon Array, which is Devastating Wounds Heavy, strength 26, AP 5, 16 damage, which sounds like a made-up number. Or you can take the Nexus Missile Array, I think, which also goes on top.
Yep, that's one of the other top options. But the heavy rail cannon, okay? Dev wounds, but no anti here. Tau don't really get that. But heavy, so you can get +1 to hit and get full rerolls from your this is getting full rerolls from Tetris to hit, so don't worry about that. And then it'll be ignoring cover and have ballistic skill 3+. So
so hitting on 2 is rerolling.
Quite strong. It doesn't ignore modifiers, which is the rule I wish it had.
Yes.
So modifiers will still be relatively annoying. But that anti-tank gun is...
I actually really like it.
It's wounding Castellans on 2s.
If you don't have an invuln save, you're just dead. AP 5 with a gun is actually incredibly relevant.
AP 5 ignore cover.
Is very relevant. Because it means 2 up save with armored contempt, you get like a 6 up, right?
Yeah.
No, this thing is amazing.
So the other option is you can go for the pulse ordnance drivers here, which are anti-infantry 2+. You get 3 of these, so it's 60-inch range, whatever. You get to hit anything you want. 8 shots each, so that's 24 shots. And then strength 5, AP 1, flat 3.
Which is very good.
AP 1, ignore cover.
Is very good.
Turn 3 onward, you could use the strat to get an extra AP on it. Although I think he's just going to sit in the backfield and just blow things away.
Yeah.
Not to mention he has towering. That's obviously a huge deal here, as he can just see through all the holes and windows.
He's also huge.
He's gigantic. He can pretty much see everything on any table.
You might be able to just see over most terrain pieces. Because isn't he like that tall?
He's very tall.
Yeah.
And then you've got the tri-axis cannons, so you can supercharge these like Ion, 36-inch range. So it used to be 60, so they did shorten the range there. But flat 3 plus D6 shots, and then blast on top of that. Strength 9 when it's overcharged, AP 3, 3 damage. It's a very solid profile. Although, honestly, I lean towards just making him anti-tank. Yeah. Because as an anti-tank profile with 2 fusion radicators and the heavy rail cannon...
So Tau really struggled to kill tanks.
He does not. He does not. He puts a lot of anti-tank firepower in there. But I honestly... you either go for an anti-tank version or an anti-infantry version. You run 3 pulse ordnance drivers and both ion cannons, and you have so much flat 3 damage that your opponent's head is about to explode.
Yeah.
You saw those Terminator units that John was running? It's just like, boom. At least AP 1, ignore cover. You fail any saves, dead. Just pick up all your models.
Them into, like, Possessed.
Yeah, just pick up the whole thing. So I think you go for either of those, depending on what the rest of your list is. But he is legitimately strong. At 685, I definitely think that
he's also quite durable. I actually really like this guy.
It's the fact that he's towering. You can shoot everything in your army. Okay, your opponent, you don't finish off units, your opponent strings back behind terrain, and then you're like, okay, the Tau activates, pick it all up, get out of here. Now, the one downside here is that Tau is very much a focused fire army because of the way in which For the Greater Good works. If you split fire, you get -1 ballistic skill when you're benefiting from For the Greater Good. So the Taunar used to be able to just split it like 3 or 4 different things and pick them all up. Now, with so many guns, you're really trying to focus one thing down. This is a lot of volume of fire, which is kind of why I lean towards either dedicated anti-tank, dedicated anti-infantry, and just blow up a 200-300 point Terminator unit, or blow up a big knight.
Yeah.
I think you want to focus things down to get max efficiency as much as possible.
No, I really like this guy.
He's definitely playable at 685 for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, the Barracuda. How many points is this thing?
It's a flyer that doesn't hover, so I don't really care.
That's fair.
But go ahead and look at. I think it's like 2 something.
The Barracuda 220, so it is pricey. What do you get for 220? So it's -1 to hit, non-hovering flyer, which is a huge strike against it. 3 up safe, 5 invuln, toughness 10, 14 wounds. So reasonably tanky, but not durable. I think you get two long-barrel burst cannons, a Swift Strike burst cannon, 2 missile pods. So you swap out the long-barrel burst cannons probably for the cyclic ion blasters. Then you got the burst cannon, the ion cannon, or the railgun, and then 4 seeker missiles.
You can take up to 4 seeker missiles. Why isn't that? It has 4 seeker missiles. Who's not taking the seeker missiles?
I don't know. Okay, so let's take up to 4 seeker missiles. So the Swift Strike burst cannon, which is its main gun, is 16 shots, string 6 AP, 1 damage 1. That's terrible. The ion cannon is a hammerhead ion cannon. Just take a hammerhead. And the Swift Strike railgun is just take a hammerhead.
It's a
flying hammerhead. Just take a hammerhead.
It's a more expensive hammerhead. Frankly, I really don't think it's like still a decent volume of shots on a single target.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's what Tau needs.
No.
If it hovered, then you could create an Alpha Strike Tau list.
Oh, yeah.
But it cannot, so it's going to come in from reserves. Your opponent's going to screen it, and then it's going to probably die.
Yeah. I just take a hammerhead. That's what I would do. All right, the Tiger Shark. How much is the Tiger Shark? $275. That's not...
It's much cheaper than it has
That's
been.
actually not that expensive. Okay. This thing is not... It's in consideration. So what do we get? It's a flyer. He doesn't hover, which is bad, as we just said. Toughness 11, 3 up, 5 up, 18 wounds. So not actually that durable.
It's fine.
It's fine. You have to put actual shots into it. So what do we get? We get 2 burst cannons, 2 ion cannons, 2 missile pods, and it's a transport. We can take 2 Sky Spear missile racks if we want to.
Instead of the transport bay where you could put all those tactical drones that you really want to take in this edition.
Wow, it's only tactical drones. So we're taking the Sky Spear racks.
100%.
And then we have 6 Seeker missiles, which is not nothing, actually. It's actually quite good.
It's a good volume of fire.
And then the 2 ion cannons can be 2 railguns or 2 burst cannons. So this thing shoots twice as hard as the Barracuda for like 50 more points.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I like this thing a lot.
It's tougher.
Okay, cool. So
it also has a better roll, strafing run.
After this model has... Okay, so if you shoot a unit that can't fly, he takes a battle shock death. That's not nothing. So what do you get? You get some burst cannon shots, and then you get 2 ion cannons, which are same as on the Barracuda. 6 Seeker missiles, which is a very reasonable amount of anti-tank shots once a game. 2 Sky Spear missile racks. Anti-fly, 3+ blast, d6 plus 1 shot, string 6 AP, 1 damage 1, which is fine.
Way worse than it used to be.
Yeah. Okay. And then either 32 decent anti-infantry shots or 2 railgun shots. I don't hate it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Pretty fine. I think if you put this on the table, you're not going to be like hurting yourself.
I think it's built into a specific list, which is trying to mess with Battle Shock. So
Agreed.
you take a bunch of piranhas, you take a couple of Tiger Sharks, you come in and you just force Battle Shocks everywhere.
Yeah.
And you try and prevent them from using strats, and then you kill them with your Crisis Brick.
I actually quite like it. Okay.
Because you can do the first set of Battle Shocks from the piranhas in your movement phase, and then in your shooting phase, you hit the Tiger Shark ones. And you're just like, okay, which units are not using strats this turn? Because I don't want any of them using strats. And then you blow them up. But
this is also a lot of shots for 275.
I think it fits in a threat overload situation where you just have a lot of high toughness vehicles, and your opponent's anti-tank can only do so much.
Agreed. Okay.
So if the meta switch is infantry heavy, I actually quite like running a bunch of these. Just like you have a ton of anti-infantry shots backed up by Tetras and Piranhas, and you just run a vehicle spam list that's fast.
These things with 4-year-olds to hit and exploding sixes, double exploding sixes,
it's actually good.
Quite good, yeah. Okay, the Tiger Shark.
This is the anti-tank one.
So what does it get? So we're looking at 315, so it's super expensive, but not criminally so. Its profile is the same as the one above. We have 6 Seeker missiles, 2 cyclic ion blasters, and then a twin heavy railgun, which is anti-Titanic 3+, devastating wounds, twin linked, so anti-dev wounds, but only Titanic, so good into knights. Strength 26, AP 5, 12 damage.
It's unfortunately one shot.
Oh, if it was 2 shots.
If it was 2 shots,
I would actually like this thing. I don't know. It's probably fine. Strength 14 means you're wounding Titanic things on 3s anyways. Except for like...
No, it's 26.
Sorry, except for the secret missiles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't hate it. It's fine.
It's once again, it's an alpha strike tool. Is you can run 2 of these. You got enough firepower with your Tetras. You'll blow. If knights are a problem for Tau and you want to build an anti-knight list, you actually have the tools to do so.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of these things would just like table in that. Just so fast.
You just come in with full rerolls.
Take 24 mortal wounds.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about crisis. Instead of running a crisis heavy build, you're running these things that come in from reserve turn 2.
Okay, cool. Better than it has been.
I don't know if it's better than it has been. It's cheaper than it has been. That's for sure.
Yeah. The Manta. So this thing is 2,100 points, I think.
Yep. They increased it by 100 points specifically because it used to be a legal 2,000 point army. And so when I won LVO that year, I requested a Manta, and they had to go up through the chain of the bureaucracy of the Imperium at Games Workshop, and slowly they got to the Emperor himself, and he said, okay, he can have a Manta. We'll print it in the UK. Because they had none in the US. They had to print one in the UK. They had to ship it over. And because of that, they decided to make it 2,100.
When are we seeing the Manta on stream?
As soon as Blake paints it. So right. Blake Law, whatever his email is, make sure you contact him.
All right. Oh, it hovers? Okay. Deadly Demise 3d6, which was hilarious. You can do it.
Just spoiler, the Manta, if it could fit into a normal game, would be ludicrously good. As is, it's a great apocalypse buy.
Yeah. If you have 2,100 points, take this thing every time.
Yeah, so it's T14, 2-up save, so you're never seeing its base plus all of the metal. You're just not seeing it. So it's getting cover. 60 wounds, and then 5-up invuln. Like I said, 5-up invuln doesn't really matter on a 2-up save thing, because it can easily get a cover. So, very tough.
Okay, so when you spend a strat on it, you have to spend 3 times that stratagem's cost to do so.
That just means I'm not spending strats.
No, never. In your shooting phase, after this model is shot, select one enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Till the end of the phase, each time a friendly model, you can reroll the wound roll. And spoiler alert, this thing transports your whole army.
Your whole army.
So you have 20 infantry guys, 4 tanks, which can...
20? No.
Oh, sorry, 200 infantry guys, 4 tanks, and then 8 battlesuits. Seems like your whole army.
Yeah, anything that's relevant.
And what is it? You have 2 heavy rail cannons, 6 ion cannons, 2 burst cannon arrays, 2 missile pods, 10 seeker missiles, and the armored hull.
Now go read the burst cannon array first.
Okay, burst cannon array. 32 shots!
2 of those. You got 2 of those.
So this thing has 64 shots at strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. Then you have a missile pod, which is like, what are we doing here? You have 2 heavy rail cannons, which are the same as we just talked about on the Tiger Shark. And then 10 seeker missiles, and was it 6 ion cannons?
Yeah, it's a lot.
This thing actually shoots really hard. It shoots
ludicrously hard. You put a Titan on the board and it's just like,
gone.
Boom.
Yeah. Man, this thing would be good in 4,000 points.
It really would be.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be a staple.
Cool.
So if you have a Manta and you play Apocalypse, it is actually really good. It also has the marker light keyword for when you observe with it. Then you spend the strat to make sure that it gets the benefit of for the greater good. Yeah, I mean...
Double Manta focus
The thing you're seeing with all of these, the Town Arc down, for the big flyers and the Manta, is they have so many guns on them, and Tau's rules really want you to focus fire things down that you're often just brutally overkilling a target.
Yeah.
It's not that efficient to split fire with them.
So with this thing, what I'd want to do is I'd want to put the ion cannons and the rail cannon into one thing, and then the burst cannon arrays into something else, and then
It's just not quite as efficient because you don't get the observer benefit on your spot because you're not targeting the spotted one, and you get -1 ballistic skill.
Yeah.
So as amazing as it is to have every weapon possible, there are limitations on the actual tabletop of how efficient it's going to be. Because you're super efficient into one target, full rerolls with the Tetra, and you've got your, whatever you're using, your strats. But at the end of the day, it's not that efficient. You're going to be losing, a lot of your optimal firepower. So these units are good. I think Tau's Index is one of the better ones for Forge World.
There's some actual very
unfortunately, they deleted my hazard suits, which I have so many of. How did you take away the hazard suit? Like, come on, are you kidding me?
I feel like they just randomly decided that, like...
How did they decide to get rid of hazard suits? They're one of the coolest, iconic Tau suits from Forge World, and just no rules for them. It's downright disappointing. Them and the Terex drill. I'm very, very angry at you, Games Workshop. Killing me here.
All right, so we have the Manta, and that's the end of Tau.
That's the end of Tau. Like we said, 2,100 points. You can't use it in a real game, but in Apocalypse, it is legitimately devastating.
Very good, yeah. Hilariously good in Apocalypse.
So I think Tau actually has some good data sheets in here. I think a vehicle spam list with a lot of support pieces is a very strong build that you can go for. Like I said, you want to focus fire things down, but if you do, these Tau units absolutely obliterate stuff when they get access to a Marker Light Observer.
Agreed. Okay, so we're moving on to...
Pretty happy with the data sheets we got, except for the Arnvarna and Yavara, which are trash.
Yep.
And basically are a waste of paper.
Yep. So moving on to Necrons.
Let's move over to the lovely Necrons. Oh, and then increase it to 125. Right there.
Oh.
Not too much.
There we go. Okay. The Canoptic Tombstalker. How much is this thing?
So I believe it's the Tomb Stalker and the Tomb Sentinel are the two centipede-like defensive kind of units. Right there. So over here, the Sentinel is 115 and the Stalker is 130. And you're going to be shocked when you see these profiles that one is more expensive than the other. So here's the Stalker version, right?
So this is the 130 one?
Yep, this is the 130 one, so more expensive. So it's 10-inch move, T9, not too bad. 4-up invuln, 9 wounds. Okay, leadership is quite poor. But it has the Gloom Prism Aura, which is that you get a 4-up Pheno Pain against psychic attacks. It's a very good ability. It is very much like the Tomb Spider, which you could run instead. It has Deep Strike natively, also a cool rule to have. And then the Ambush rule is you can target the unit with the Heroic Intervention strat for 0 CP, even if you've done that already. Okay, its weapon is fine. It's got lethal hits, it's a bunch of shots at strength 5, AP 1 damage. You want the Technomancer to give it +1 to hit, or have the Sovereign Coronal nearby to also give it +1 to hit, and access to the second half of the strats. It's a monster, it's Canoptic, and then its melee is once again okay. It's a bunch of AP 1 attacks. It's fine. Okay, so let's go down to the next one, the Tomb Sentinel.
Before we do, we have a $5 super chat from Shell. It's a real Seraptic Hours. Repost if you are a true heavy construct.
A true heavy construct.
True heavy construct.
True heavy constructs in chat only. He also said, my Seraptic is smiling at me from the shelf. Thanks so much for being a member for 6 months. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you've been enjoying the Necron content I've been putting out. Plenty more to come. I think next week we're releasing Necrons vs. Chaos Demons.
Should be exciting.
Yeah, it should be a very good one. In the War Room, that is.
All right, so this is 130?
Yep, that's 130.
I don't hate it for 130.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's totally fine. Then you see the Tomb Sentinel.
This one's 115.
Okay. Same exact defensive profile.
Okay.
Its gun is blast, 18-inch range, D6 +1 shots, hits on 4s, but can make it easily hit on 3s. Strength 10, AP 2 damage, and then its claws are meh. But here, let's look at the rules. Aggressor, Guardian. Each time an attack targets the model, if the model's within range of an objective marker, reduce the incoming AP by 1, or if it's making an attack that targets a unit within range of an objective, +1 AP.
That's very good.
And then it also
has a Gloom Prism?
Also has a Gloom Prism.
And this is the cheaper one?
This is the one that's 15 points cheaper.
What?
That is just how the design team operates. So
this one's like better in every way.
It's better in every single possible way. It shoots harder. It has a better unique data sheet rule.
Sure.
It hits less hard in combat.
Whatever.
So they must have been valuing that AP1 combat.
AP1 hits on force combat?
I don't know how they did it. But
sure, okay.
This one is legitimately good. -1 AP with sitting in cover is very, very strong. You can, and then it has a 4-up invuln as well. It's only 9 wounds, so it does require a decent amount of anti-tank to kill. But then they're putting anti-tank at this. Now,
it's 150 points.
I think it works best in a vehicle-heavy Necron list. You got the Coronal, you got a lot of lone operatives to score your mission stuff, and then you take a bunch of Doomsday Arcs, you take the Silent King, you take a bunch of these guys, and you just have a vehicle spam type of list.
Yeah, I think it would be really good.
Yep.
Okay. So up next we have the Canoptic Acanthrites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So these are the kind of Forge World version of Wraiths.
I see, yeah.
So as you'll note, there's no invuln save here, which immediately toss it in the bin. But they're beasts, so they can go through the walls. They got their cutting beam, which is a short-range melta. It's fine. They're infiltrators, so that at least helps. It lets them get into a position to use their weapons. But they're only 2 wounds.
What?
Now. Yeah.
Oh, so these things just die immediately.
They die pretty much instantly, and then their unique rule is in your shooting phase. After they've shot, you select an enemy unit that's hit by 1 or more attacks. And each time a friendly Necron unit then targets them, they get +1 AP on a critical wound roll. So if it was just they get +1 AP,
That'd be quite good.
it would be a good support piece, but only on critical wounds, it's nah.
How many points are these things?
I forget. It's like 125 or something?
85 for 3.
85 for 3, and then
170
170.
for 6. I don't hate them for 85. I probably don't make the list.
They're a cheaper version of Wraiths that are mostly about shooting.
I guess. I don't know. Would you pay 85 points for 3 melta guns?
For an infiltrating unit, they're effectively competing in my mind with Tomb Blades
Yeah.
as the infiltrating or pre-game moving infiltrating early game unit that's relatively fast, because 12-inch move is not bad for Necrons. A lot of their stuff went down. So it's fine. I don't really like their rule that much. Necrons aren't a dominant shooting army, and the shooting that they have is already high AP, so they don't really need an additional one, and you have to stick it out to do that. So
These guys are resoundingly fine.
yeah,
They're totally
at least they're
fine.
relatively cheap, but
Yeah.
I think better options are out there.
Cool. The Tesseract Arc.
It's 130, I believe.
130, okay.
Yep. So it used to be a pretty expensive. It was like 190 for a while in 9th edition. So it's T9, 10 wounds, got a 4-up invuln, really nice. And then it has, I believe, 2 Gauss cannons, which you can switch for Tesla cannons. And then it's got its Singularity Chamber. This used to be a bunch of different profiles. So now it's just 2 different profiles. One is a Flamer. That's 12-inch range, 3 plus D6 shots, strength 6, AP 1, 2 damage, ignores cover. That's a fine Flamer.
That's pretty good,
It's a fine Flamer. Necrons really don't have many good Overwatching units besides the Hexmark, which can do it for free. So this is something that could actually benefit from Overwatch. And then its longer range profile is only D3 shots instead of what it used to be, which was D6, but at least it's blast. Strength 9, AP3, D6 plus 1. It's okay. And then its unique rule is that each time an enemy unit selects this model as a target of a charge, -2 to charge. That's fine.
That's fine. And this is like 130?
It's 130. It's okay.
I don't hate it. Can I just take a minute? Why is the Tesseract Singularity Chamber, which is the coolest name ever, like a fine Flamer?
It's
I feel
just
like Necron guns should be better.
They should be better.
Yeah.
They've constantly devalued Necron guns over the last 2 editions, but finally this edition they got some bonuses to it. There was a lot of remain stationary previously, and that is just not a good rule. You got to move in 40k, guys. You got to move.
The Seraptic Heavy Construct. Shell, this is for you.
Okay. It's 470, I believe. It is actually quite... It shoots very hard with towering.
470,
So,
okay.
Yep, 470, so it's sub 500. It's, like I said, towering, titanic, blah, blah, blah. T12.
Okay.
So not quite as durable as something like the Taunar or a Castellan, but it's basically thinking like a Castorus Knight. 3-up save, 24 wounds, 10 OC, 5-up invuln. So fine
it's
defensive profile. Not
Really similar to like a big knight.
Anti-Titanic guns are very scary for it,
Yes.
but outside of that, like it doesn't want to go up against the Taunar with the
No.
with the Nexus weapon. Then we've got so Singularity Cannon is 36-inch range, Dev Wounds Blast,
Ooh.
hits on 3, so you can mate with the Coronal, make it hit on 2s.
Okay.
Strength 10 is kind of iffy, but still solid. AP 3 flat 4 damage.
Okay. Do you
So
get all of these?
You get the 2 Singularity
Which
generators.
you can replace with 2 Synaptic Obliterators and 2 Transdimensional Projectors. Okay.
So it's either 2 of these Top Guns here, which
Okay.
is probably what you're going to go for.
Probably.
Or the Synoptic Obliterator is 8 shots, so you'd have 2 of them, 16, strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage. It's okay. Longer range somehow. And then Transdimensional Projector is, you could get 2 of these, which is 4 shots. Hits on 3s, strength 24, AP 4, D6 plus 4.
And then it hits actually respectably hard in combat.
Yep, so the sauce here is you take the Sovereign Coronal.
Okay.
You count as being led by a character, so you're +1 to hit, and you use the strat for full rerolls to wound at full range.
I see.
So
That is
hit on
quite
2s,
good.
full rerolls to wounds.
Okay.
That's very good.
That is very good.
That's 1 CP. So
I actually quite like this thing.
then it has a couple other rules. It can basically ignore terrain that's 4 inches or less in height. That's cool. And then at the start of the fight phase, each enemy unit with an engaged range takes a battle shock, which is kind of meh for a super heavy to have as that rule. But overall, it's really the fact that you take the coronal, 30-point enhancement, and you make this thing really efficient.
Yes.
And it is.
No, I like this thing.
I think for 470 it is legitimately good. It's the same cost as the Silent King, but it shoots a lot harder than the Silent King. And then its combat is pretty scary too. 6 attacks.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be
14,
tangled up with this thing.
5 attacks. Yeah.
All right, cool. So up next is nothing, because it's the end of
That's the end.
the
Necrons did lose the pylon.
No!
The giant Gauss pylon, it is no more, unfortunately. But
Curse you, Forge
a lot of these are okay. The Sentinel seems like the better one. And then if you want to go for big stuff, the Seraptic is totally competitive. It is runnable.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really fits into a lot of the Necron styles, which is having unkillable units. It is something that can die to anti-tank. But man, it does shoot hard.
Really
for 1 CP, this thing is popping off.
Whew.
So I'm going to go ahead and switch out for Mr. John here. But hopefully everybody enjoyed the Tau and Necron breakdowns. Like I said, Tetras are amazing. Get those in your Tau list. For Necrons, none of the Forge World is you have to have it in your list, but it's solid enough. And if you have it, you're not punished for running this Forge World stuff.
I really didn't hate the Canoptic Acanthrites. They seemed fine for 85. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Mr. John, take over for the Eldari.
As John swaps in and I change the thing, I'm going to go ahead and give the fun fact of the day, which is that plastic was synthesized in 1907.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty early.
Up next, we have Eldari.
Good. I'm so glad that it is time for Eldari.
Close that out. Okay, cool. And then let's go all the way up to
Eldari. All the way at the top.
So, we have the best codex in the game.
This is an index.
It's the best index in the game. My favorite index in the game. And now we have extra Forge World things to make it even better.
Yes, so we all know what Eldari is right now, and it's horrible.
Fine, balanced, fair?
See, you can lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself because I have recordings of you admitting it. But they did give Eldar a plethora of Forge World data sheets. These are one of the armies that did not get all their options deleted. Pour one out for my spiky boys. So let's dive right into it, shall we?
Okay, so we have the Wraithseer. And I'm going to go ahead and just jump the gun really quick. The Wraithseer D-Cannon is not the same gun as the support weapon.
Good.
Thank God. It is not indirect fire. It is one shot instead of D3. It is D6 damage instead of D6 plus 2. Other than that, it's a Wraith Lord with a 5-up minivuln who can take the Wraith Lord weapons, but only one of them. And then it hits pretty hard in combat, but hits on 4s, anti-infantry 2+. It is precision.
Yep.
Damage 3. I believe it's 160 points, and then after it shoots, if it hits something, they have to take a battle shock.
Yeah, it looks, its melee is slightly different. You know, the precision is nice, its sweep is more attacks. It's same points, 160. So it is the same cost as a Wraith Lord. It does come with a Destructor, that little Psychic weapon. Overall,
that's fine.
And it causes a battle shock test. This seems fine. It honestly, compared to a Wraith Lord, can it take double Bright Lance?
No, you get one weaponed.
But it could be a D-Cannon.
Yes.
Even though it's not as good of a D-Cannon as the other guy.
Yes.
Okay, so in my mind, this is just an alternative to a Wraith Lord. This is not particularly better than a Wraith Lord. I actually think a Wraith Lord is slightly better than this.
I agree.
But this is a perfectly fine thing where if you happen to love your Wraithseer model and you say, well, I'd like to use this instead of a Wraith Lord, I think it fits in just fine.
Yep, if I see one across from me, I'm not going to be like, this is terrible.
So far we have done nothing offensive.
Yep,
next.
It's totally fine. We have the Revenant Titan.
Hold on, just check the points. I just want to see if this is a more...
Okay,
1100, theoretically takeable. I'll spend a little more time.
Okay, toughness 13, 2-up, 4-up, 30 wounds. It's a Titan. You can move over things that are 4 inches. You have to spend 2 CP to use a strat on it. And then if you advance, you go 8 inches.
Cool. Are its weapons assault? The Pulsar.
The Pulsar is. You get 2 Pulsars or 2 Sonic Lances.
And then a missile.
Yeah.
This thing does not look like it's 1100 points of output.
It certainly is not. Cool. The Phantom Titan is not takeable in a regular game.
It is 55 wounds, which is very funny. It shoots harder than a Revenant, and that is about all that I want to say about it.
It is 2100 points.
Sweet. Awesome.
Cool. That is worse than a Manta.
It is. I do believe that, but we don't need to spend a lot of time
We have the Cobra.
All right, starting to get into
the Cobra is
units.
415, so you can take this in a real game, but it is expensive. Toughness 11, moves 14. 2 up, 5 up, 24 wounds, so pretty tanky.
Okay.
OC 8.
415 it's a little lower toughness than a knight, but 415 is not bad.
No, so what guns do we have? So we have one De-Impaler and a Shuriken Cannon, and you can replace the Shuriken Cannon with any of the basic Eldar heavy weapons. Cool. So the De-Impaler is Blast, Devastating Wounds, D6 plus 3 shots, strength 16, AP 4, damage 4.
That is a good
gun.
That is a good gun.
And then in your shooting phase, that unit that you hit, and every unit within 3 inches, you roll a d6. On a 5 up, they take d3 mortals.
That's not that inspiring. It's only a 5 plus.
That's fine.
It's 3 inches, so it's not going to be like a huge amount of units.
Can I be a bit heretical, John?
What's up?
I think this is fine for 415.
Yeah, I don't think this is broken.
No,
it's not
it's
towering. It's actually kind of low to the ground.
Yeah.
It's still very hard to hide because it's so big.
Mm-hmm.
This is just an Eldar big tank. That's fine. Dev wounds is annoying, but I think 415 is okay. It's just good.
Yeah, it's good. An appropriately costed thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely can't be any cheaper.
No.
All right, to the
The
next.
Scorpion.
This is an alternative to the Cobra.
So the Scorpion is 410, so also pretty expensive. It's the same defensively. It's got the funny rule where you do Deadly Demise on 4-ups instead of 6s.
To an enemy that is killed by it.
Yes.
Okay, so it makes enemies more likely to explode.
Yep.
And it comes with a Twin Scorpion Pulsar, and then its choice of the Eldar weapons.
Yep. So twin linked, 6 shots, 18, 3, 5. So pretty good anti-tank.
That is actually a very good anti-tank.
Oh, that is pretty good. Yeah, wow.
Twin linked, damage 5. 6 shots, hits on 3s. That is quite
You're probably going to ignore cover because you're playing Eldar.
You'll probably hit with some of those.
Well, you have a
playing
reroll.
Eldar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your twin links. That
I
actually
kind of like
is-
this thing.
That's a really good tank popper.
If you finish a knight off on a 4-up, they just explode.
Let's finish a knight off. That is like non-zero kill a knight.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, if you whittle a knight down to 20 wounds, then yeah, you just kill it.
I like this thing.
That's really good.
For 410, yeah.
410, that feels like it's better than the Cobra.
Yeah, I agree.
Still, it's expensive, and it's very much in the niche choice. I don't
Yes.
think it's going to be seen often.
It's also gigantic.
It's also gigantic.
Like, huge. So you're never going to hide it.
No, not often.
Yeah.
Still, better than I would like. But
Agreed.
not crazy.
Okay.
All right, next one. We can
The Nightwing.
T8, I like that.
T8 does not have -1 to hit, but it does hover. You get +1 to hit against flyers. This is the Eldar plane. I think you get you get a twin Bright Lance and a twin Shuriken Cannon.
And can you replace that with anything at all?
No.
Okay.
It's like 150 points if I remember correctly.
Probably too much.
150.
Yeah, it's not.
Take a
exciting.
Crimson Hunter, and as I said earlier, the Crimson Hunter is garbage.
Yeah, you don't.
It is a worse Crimson Hunter, and the Crimson Hunter is the worst unit in the book.
Next.
The Warp Hunter. This thing is...
It's 130, right?
130, which
That
is
is
very
a
cheap.
very aggressively costed 12 wound tank.
Okay, cool. So you get a D-Flail and a Shuriken Cannon, just like the cannon, which is D3 shots, blast, dev wounds, strength 12, AP 4, damage 3, or Devastating Wounds Torrent, D3 shots, strength 12, AP 4, damage 3.
And then you could fire the D-Flail instead as a 12-inch torrent. Still dev wounds, same
Yes.
profile. 12-4-3. The blast weapon being only D3 shots means that the output on this is not actually crazy.
It's really not.
It's like good. I think the main thing is that as a whole for 130 points, this is very cheap and still does damage.
Yeah, it's got us not nothing.
It's a 14-inch flying vehicle. Do all the other flying tanks move to 14?
I think they do, yeah.
Wow, that's so fast.
They all moved 16 out of their 14.
Yeah, well, my flyer went from 17 to 12, so I have to
Yeah.
ask. That is... I think that's just good. Because it's cheap. Honestly, I think if you just made this thing like 10 or 15 more points, it would be perfectly neutral.
Yep.
As it is, I think this profile's fine, because the low volume is going to keep it down.
Because you're going to roll 1 shot and then 2 shots. It doesn't actually do that much.
Yeah. And it's a weird Overwatch, because it could just be 1 shot. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not really volume enough for the Overwatch to be that potent. But then also it's like, oh, maybe sometimes it's going to be just 9 mortal wounds, and that's going to suck.
Yeah.
I think that this is just a little bit too cheap, but it's fine. It's not crazy. It caused a battle shock test, and no one cares about that.
The Lynx.
Oh, I'm so mad at this.
The Lynx is 155.
Yeah, we are now getting to war crimes
Yes.
territory.
So this thing moves 9, and all of its guns are assault. Well, the relevant
it
guns.
Advances 9.
So it advances
moves
9,
14.
moves 14. So it moves 23 inches and shoots you.
Yes.
Its gun is 4 shots, strength 16, AP 4, D6 damage. And then you can also take a Bright Lance.
Yep, which wouldn't then be assault, but
Whatever.
this thing is so...
For 155?
This is so offensively costed. Because let's talk about what it is. The Lynx Pulsar is 16 minus 3 d6, which means most of the time it is 4 slightly worse las cannons strapped together, but strength 16 instead of 12 does wound some relevant breakpoints very well. So like it's not slightly lower damage, but 4 shots. I mean, honestly, this thing looks like a Caladius for like 60 points less.
I mean, you get rerolls on this and you don't get on the Caladius. Oh, you get
The Caladius is twin linked, but this is higher strength and has free rerolls built in.
It also moves 9 inches faster.
Yeah, then it moves 23 inches.
Yeah, this thing's amazing.
For 155, I feel like the Lynx is actually kind of criminal.
Yes. Okay, the
This,
Lynx is...
this is the point where we're looking at an Eldar army that's already laughably broken. Like, already not very fun to play against. GWY. We've already put this in the is this real tier of the tier list? And I wasn't on that tier list, but let me tell you what. If I was, I would have put that in the what the heck GW category. What are we doing? Yeah. Is this for Warhammer 50k? Like, what's going on? Just another unit in the same category. Like, 155 for this is insulting.
It really is.
If this thing was 200, I would be having a conversation. This is pretty good, and you might take it. Like, I think you could put this thing 50 points more, and I would still take it in most armies. Now, in current Eldar, where everything is cracked in half like a glow stick, I don't think that you would take this at plus 200 points. But
in a regular
army, you would. And at 155, this is making it into what we've already called, I don't know, the worst army of the last 6 years.
I would agree with that.
I think current Eldar is like the most broken thing I've seen in at least 5 years.
I would say going back to Unlimited Split Horrors.
Yeah, that was like 6, 7 years ago. I'm talking 8th to 9th edition.
Yeah, I agree.
This doesn't have a reason to exist.
No.
The model's also ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah.
I was expecting a kind of cool looking Eldar Grav Tank.
No, it's like huge.
It's like 2 halves of a Grav Tank built around a gun.
It's not great.
It's not good. I think this is offensive.
It's no points for... So like...
It's free. It's 155.
Well, the thing is, every other army is paying 155 for like
a mid-battle tank.
Yeah. Like, this is 50 points cheaper than a Leman Russ. And Leman Russes are good.
They're not. But Leman Russ does not shoot. There is not a Leman Russ variant that does what this does, and they all are 40 to 60 points more.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, this is just silly.
Lynx is good.
Lynx is stupid.
But here's the other really dumb one.
Yeah.
The Hornet, spoiler alert, it's 80 points.
Yeah.
It has 2 Bright Lances, and it does mortals. You take 3 of these in every list with Wraithknights unnerfed.
Sure. Yeah, it's a 14-inch move flying vehicle. It's not that tough. T7, 8 wounds, 3 up save. It'll definitely fold to... Scroll down a little bit. Like, just look at that to see.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely fold to, like, actual anti-tank.
Yeah.
But, like, it's 80 points for either 4 pulse laser shots or Real Lancer, 2 Bright Lance shots with just the normal Fate Dice rerolls, and it does a little bombing run because it moves 14.
Yeah.
Just move 14, move over a model back up an inch.
You can fire and fade. You can phantasm. You can...
Just boop, 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 boop. Anytime you make an out-of-sequence move with a Hornet, you could activate its bombing run. It's just like throwing a grenade. Just like, here's 3 splash mortals. So if there's just 3 Hornets and you get within 12 inches of them, they all just run up. 9 mortals, back up, shoot you with 6 Bright Lances, full rerolls. 240 points for 3 of these?
Yeah.
And they're so cheap that they're disposable. That's the part.
Who cares if you lose it? They're 80 points.
Yeah, but they don't die to bolters, even though they're only T7. It's the same math as 9th edition.
Yeah, instead of bolters.
But like, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's
these
so
things are
cheap.
Ridiculous.
So yet again, Yay! Eldar has been rewarded with a heinously undercosted data sheet. Again, this thing's 80. I think you would take it at 100.
I would take it at 100.
I think we're looking at like 120 is where this thing should live.
Yeah, this is 120
110,
point
120. Like, this is the out. I just hate stupid cheap units that also do crippling damage and are fast. All right, cool.
Okay,
great.
Shadow Specters. These are 80 for
5. 80 for 5. And the Exarch costs 20 if you add them to the unit.
Sure. Okay. So what do these guys get? Their gun is fine. It's a frag missile. It's AP1, 18-inch range. Or one shot at strength 6, AP2, damage 3. They don't hit in combat. They have 5 invuln save. Other than that, they're a 12-inch move aspect warrior that flies.
It's 3-up armor 1, though. Because some of those are 4-ups. This is a 3-up
That's
armor
fair.
aspect.
Yes. Some are 3, some are 4.
Yeah.
In your shooting phase, they have the existing rule of Scourges, where they get to fire and fade for free. I think these guys
Have deep strike.
And stealth.
And stealth.
I think these are nuts for 80.
These are crazy.
I don't know who costed these things.
Yeah, like
wild.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, it's like an alternate warp spider. Instead of once per game moving fast, it always fire and fades. Oh, cool, it's a big blast weapon. Or if it wants, it is a actual good like marine popping gun.
Yeah.
It's also stealthy. Okay, I'm sure this is like a slightly more expensive than Wraiths. No, it's not.
Yep.
80 points for 5. Does the Eldar get any different gun?
No, he has 2
He's just a
wounds.
second one.
Yeah.
All right, so honestly, you don't take.
You don't take the Exarch.
I don't understand why they just keep. Honestly, it feels like an AI is generating the points for these things. Like what are you doing here?
Putting it, yeah.
Like, come on. Like, how many points would you pay for that? 100 easily. I'd easily pay 100 points for that. Like, how much is a Scourge unit?
120?
I have not seen a Drukhari list that has not seriously just been like, yeah, I think I'd take 15 Scourges.
You do. Every list starts with 15 Scourges, 3 Ravagers.
Yeah, this is +1 armor save, stealth, same rule, different gun. The gun is not as good as a Scourge.
It's not,
It's
but
40
it's 40
points cheaper for better save stealth, has access to Strands of Fate dice, has the rerolls baked in. Just like, take
Why?
8 of these 5, you deep strike them in, you kill a couple of Marines of Fire and Fade, they do nothing. You just move all over the table, because they basically move 18 inches a turn. Because they just move 12, shoot, move 6. So they get to objectives, they get in cover, you don't shoot them back. They're a 3-up save, so they're actually like kind of annoying to shift. Because,
you can't really kill them with indirect.
yeah,
because
just
they're stealthy.
random weight of dice is, oh, I'm stealthy and I have a 3-up save and I probably have cover because I'm a tiny 25mm idiot. It's just, why? Why is every Eldar unit 80 points? Oh, you can kill it easily if you commit 200 points of your army. Oh, cool, thanks. You can't actually shoot me back, by the way. Like, what? Why do we persist? Games Workshop, why? Hit the next unit.
Okay, up next is the Scathach Wraithknight.
I'm sure this one will be fine.
I think it's probably okay. So this is 385. It's not -1 damage, and once per battle, at the end of your opponent's turn, it can go into his reserves.
Yeah, and then it deep strikes in. Just into strategic reserves.
It just walks on the table.
Okay, so it does have deep strike. It may not be able to use it after strategic reserves. Unclear, but still can boop teleport once per game. And it can it can just move over.
So you have 2 arms, one of which can be a shield, or you can have 2 guns.
Yeah.
You can have 1 Inferno Lance and 1 Death Shroud Cannon, or 2 Death Shroud Cannons, and 1 arm can be a shield. The Inferno Lance is 4 shots, melted 2, strength 12, AP 4, D6 damage. So pretty fine, pretty good melted gun.
The Inferno Lance?
Inferno Lance.
I feel like that thing's great.
What's like an errant, the Errant's gun?
It's basically that,
Yeah.
but this has rerolls, and it can take 2. And it costs less
No,
than
you
an
get
Errant
1 Inferno Lance.
per arm.
No, because you can only have... Oh, you can take 2 Inferno Lances.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you just take 2.
Yeah, you can just take 2.
Yeah, no, it is basically an errant, other than the fact that it has more rerolls, is twice the output, and is also cheaper. Other than that, it is kind of like an errant.
It is kind of like an errant, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit in combat, though.
You're right, and I can't hit it in combat.
I mean, you... Oh, no, you can't. Yeah, okay, cool. Never mind. This thing's dumb.
Yeah,
It is less dumb than the regular Wraithknight, but that's not saying anything at all.
Yeah, funny enough, I think this is actually the case where you don't want to take the D-weapon version.
No.
And to be clear, I don't think this is as good as a Wraithknight.
No.
But it's 385?
Yeah.
15 more than Wraithknight. If Games Workshop were to come down from on high, give the Wraithknight, the normal one, it's just desserts, and I don't know, make it 700 points in Age of Sigmar. Then I think the Scathach Wraithknight would then be broken.
Yeah.
As it is, it's Wraithknight number 4 and 5, and it's a little bit worse.
Yep.
But it's still a towering vehicle-killing machine that is very hard to hit back.
That's super true, but just as true.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, like, what What are we doing here?
Irilith.
Alright, we're just skating past the Wraithknight, because I'm gonna see red if I keep looking at it.
So he is the Shadow Spectre's Phoenix Lord, so he gives them +1 to hit. Enemy units within 6 inches are -1 battle shock, which is fine. His gun is very good. Strength 8, AP 2, damage 4, 3 shots, but hits on 3s, hilariously.
Oh, that's funny. But he gives himself
+1 to hit.
Yeah. Okay, so still ends up being pretty decent.
Yes. And then he is notably worse in combat than he was last edition. He's only damage 1. Toughness 3, he's a Phoenix Lord that moves 12 otherwise.
I'm not particularly impressed by Rilith. The main thing is that I'm assuming this guy's going to be cheap. How many points what is he, like 40 points? Come on, Eldar price.
105. So
105.
He's the cheapest Phoenix Lord.
Actually not that good.
He's fine.
I don't even think he's good.
Sure.
I wouldn't take him because I would just take 5 more Shadow Spectres instead. It's cheaper.
That's really just like
you would do that.
Exactly what you would do. Okay, cool. Sorry, you're
It is a good gun, but like,
yeah,
it is actually a really good gun. God, jeez, I'm just like looking at that and I'm like, oh, that's actually.
It's very good. Yeah, it's really good.
Still, don't think he's worth it. Congratulations, GW. You actually wrote an Eldar unit that I would not take.
Nightwing? You wouldn't take the Nightwing?
I'd take it before Earlith.
The Nightwing?
I don't know, man.
I would take Earlith.
That thing's also pretty bad.
Yeah, that is the end of it.
It's nothing in this index is as heinously broken as the
Knight?
existing Eldar index.
Well, to be fair, the Wraithknight is the most broken single model the game might have ever seen.
Definitely in the last 5 years.
Yes.
It was dark before then, man. I don't know.
That's fair.
Okay. Once we get past that, just why? Why is the Scathatch Wraithknight
385
just so good?
Why is the Hornet 80? Why is the Lynx 155?
155 again. I think the Lynx is the one I'm most mad at.
Yeah.
Because I just look at other armies' midline battle tanks and that 150-ish points cost, and then I look at this and I'm like,
compare it to a Lancer, which is an aggressively costed, very good tank.
Yeah, look, I'm a Space Marine player. I think the Lancer is too cheap for what
the Lancer is probably too good, and the Lynx blows it out of the water. You have 5 shots instead of 2.
Yeah.
And it moves twice as far.
Oh, don't worry, the Lancer rerolls a hit and wood.
So does the Lynx.
Oh, God, and you're faster and you, yeah.
And you have Fate Dice.
Yeah, like what?
What are we doing here?
And again, that is like literally, the Lancer is, I think, like the archetype of, this is one of the best anti-tank mid-sized vehicles that like the game has right now. The Lancer is great. It's awesome. Probably should go up 15 or 20 points.
Yep.
And this is so much better.
Yasinox, the Hammerhead is 145. So a Lynx is 10 points more than a Hammerhead.
Sure. Okay, whatever.
Okay, cool. You have more broken data sheets that you can choose from, Eldar players.
All this means is that when Eldar gets their richly deserved nerf and the game once more knows peace, it means that GW really needs to be thorough.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of things in here where I'm like, honestly, like, the Lynx is comical at 155.
Yeah,
and I still don't know if it makes an Eldar list.
I don't think it does, that's the thing.
Because, again, an Eldar list right now is comical. But, GW, please just go wide. Just be all-encompassing with your fury.
Your
the literal
digital
health of the game is in your hands. Oh, digital rules, great. They fixed Deathwatch so fast. I'm so proud of them.
Okay. I'm going to say this to my fellow Eldar players. I know that you would like to have a broken index. I like having a broken index. It's fun for a game or two. But I promise you, it wears off very quickly, and the game is suffering dramatically because of what we have right now. Yeah. You're not playing a game anymore. You're just, like, rolling dice at your opponent and they keel over dead. We play a game because we want to have back and forth. There's some risk of losing. Like, you are allowed to go play by yourself and say that you win every time, and that's basically what we're doing right now with, like, Triple Wraith.
Let's put an example here. I like to play StarCraft.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at StarCraft. So, every once in a while, I'll play against the AI set to easy in StarCraft. I'll just wreck them. Yeah. And that's like, if I'm like really like low energy just playing video games, that's a fun way to spend 30 minutes. I can't do that twice.
No.
Like, after the first time, like, where you're just like, and here's me lining up, 10 siege tanks on your expansion, base that you haven't finished building yet. Because the AI is just so pathetically outclassed, because it's an easy AI. Like, after one time, where it's like, boom, 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 tanks. And then you're like, okay, we're not actually playing a game. Okay. I'm going to go play against, like, a real human now.
Yeah. If you've ever played, like, Skyrim, if you've ever used the, like, infinite duplication glitch, where you set all of your stats to, like, plus 400,000%, and you kill every boss in one hit, and you have 10 billion health.
That sounds like a really fun, like, half hour.
It's a great so fun for half an hour. And then you're like, the game is easy because I kill every enemy in one hit, and they can't hurt me. Yeah. Well, they can. You just have 10 billion health, so they don't do damage. All right.
That's
Sure.
Eldar right now.
That is Eldar
All
right now.
I'm done with Eldar.
Okay.
They're
Rant
good.
over Dark Eldar?
I would like to see some Drukhari. I'm
I think
sure
it's just
there's
the one data sheet.
There is. You want to just grab the points on it now?
Yeah, let me grab that really quick.
All right. So Eldar's gone. Let's get that sweet Drukhari Tantalus.
Oh,
this
the
is a
Tantalus.
near and dear one to my heart.
Why don't
I
you
love
tell
the
the
Tantalus.
story of the Tantalus?
It's after the seas.
Yeah.
So I love the Tantalus. We actually have 3 of them in the house. And there was a wonderful morning where I got to paint all 3 of them before we drove up to ATC. And it was a bit of a meme, but we wanted to meme a bit. And I pitched this idea to Nick. I was like, hey, Nick, I actually think the Tantalus is pretty good. And so I was like, because we actually had 3 Tantalus already. Like, we bought them years ago, but they were never even built. I was like, Nick, I know we've got these in the closet. I think this is actually kind of funny. We sat down, we workshopped the list. We're like, this is cool. So we built 3 of them, and I went on vacation. I said, hey, build this before I get back, and I'll paint it in a day. And then I did. And then we took it to ATC, and it went to an incredibly respectable 5-1. Just absolutely incredible. The beautiful flight of the Tantalus. And you just get tanted. So let's talk about what a Tantalus is.
So it's 230. Oh, we should also note that Nick and I played, and Nick beat me 20-0.
I wasn't even going to say it. I was being polite. But yeah, no, that did happen.
That was the funny part of the story.
It was very funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. Nick deployed on the line, went first, and jammed 2,000 points of Drukhari straight down my throat.
So it's, a Tantalus is basically a catamaran made out of 2 raiders.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is. So it's a T10 18 wound, 4 armor, 5 up invuln raider.
Yeah.
Move 16. It's firing deck 16. Spoiler, it holds 16 dudes.
Yep.
It has the pulse disintegrators, which is 12 shots assault, by the way, at 10 -2/2. Very respectable output.
Yep.
Here's the cute thing. It does mortal wounds on the charge. That's very fun. This is what's important. It's open topped and or firing deck 16. And whenever a transport is equipped with the weapons of the dudes inside, if you spend a pain token to give it reroll hits, all the dudes inside who are firing out, those weapons are equipped on the Tantalus. So 1 pain token gives essentially the Tantalus and all of its contents reroll hits. So this is the most single efficient way to spend a pain token.
So you can get 1 Archon plus a Court plus 10 Cabalites in here.
It's a lot of
Or you can do 15 Cabalites.
You could even do some silly venom tricks where you have 3 venoms with just dudes.
So you could do 3 blasters, 3 shredders, 3 dark lances, 3 splinter cannons, 3 blast pistols, plus the pulse disintegrator cannons, and give the whole
pain
thing.
Token.
Yeah.
All rerolls hits. That's very funny. This thing is I think it's pretty good. Its melee is actually not 0. It's not good, but it's 8-1-2 instead of the 6-0-1.
Plus the charge mortals. If this thing with reroll hits kills 5 Marines plus the charge mortals, I would not be surprised.
That could happen.
Yeah, it's totally in the realm of possibility.
But totally could.
It's also OC5, right? It should take an objective from 5 Marines.
That is true. I think if you charge this into 5 Marines and spend a pain token, I think you're killing at least 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And at that point.
Yeah, because you should kill 1 with the charge mortals. Mm-hmm. And then kill 2 with the...
Yeah, that's
a totally reasonable. Yeah.
So that's the Tantalus. It's 230.
Yep.
How much is a raider?
Raider is 90.
Okay, so it's more than 2 raiders.
I feel like I should...
But this isn't bad.
Yeah.
I think this falls into the Forge World category that I love, which is, this is cool. Oh, you bought the cool model? Yeah, you can play it. It won't be a big deal.
I don't think we're going to be putting this on the table in winning super majors anytime soon.
No, sadly.
But if you want to run this at a local RTT or your game store or even a local GT, totally
good.
Go ahead. It's not bad. It's probably worth 230.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this thing is just it's good. Not crazy. Next.
Yeah, totally fine.
Not quite as maybe. If it goes down any points at all, it becomes good.
If this is 200 points...
200 points, I just pay it. I just take 3.
Oh, yeah, you take 3. Yeah. Its guns are also quite good. It's 10 shots, 10-2-2.
Yeah, just
12 shots.
12 shots, 10-2-2. Yep. It's very reliably just plinking off a number of MEQs. It's not amazing for anti-tank, but this will get through rhinos, especially when you put the lances inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that package should pop a normal vehicle. Yep. Overall, I love the Tantalus. Yeah. I don't think it's broken.
No.
I don't think it's crazy good. I think it's just this is good. Or you could take Raiders, and the Raiders are a perfectly viable choice.
Yep.
Love it.
Seems fine.
That is the Tantalus, and that is the only data sheet for Drukhari.
Yep.
So the Reaper is gone.
Reaper's gone.
I don't know why the Tantalus made it and the Reaper didn't. I don't really know.
They also got rid of hazard suits, but no other... I don't know what their decision point was.
Yeah. They
no
kept every single guard tank, but no chaos rules. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Sure. I have seen the Reaper on the table one time.
I've seen about that many. Yeah, it's pretty rare. So I guess it won't be missed, but a little sad. Just run it as a Ravager now.
Yep. Sure is just
that is the Tantalus.
That is the Tantalus. Up next, I believe, is Orks.
We're going to do Orks and Tyranids next as the final two.
Is that you and
I
Jack?
think we're going to tag in Jack Harpster for some Tyranids and Orks.
All right. Well, I'll get out of here, and I'll let old Jackie boy get in.
All right. So stay tight, everyone, for 10 seconds of musical chairs, and then we're going to be switching over to Tyranids and Orks. All right. Hey! And we're back.
Wog, etc.
All right. Welcome back, Mr. Jack. All right, hold on. Quinn left his phone. There we go. All right,
Imagine.
so let's get these Drukhari out of here. Let's get these Eldar out of
God.
here. We do want to keep the Munitorum Field Manual up. We do not want to keep Tau up.
No.
Now,
Please
let's.
no.
We've just got Tyranids
You want to do Tyranids first?
and Orks.
Or do you want to do Orks
Let's
first?
do Orks first. You know,
Let's do Orks.
Save the best for last.
Orks. All right, let's see if the Grot Mega Tank just like randomly is insanely efficient.
We've got 10 data sheets, but before we go through them, let's go through the super chat by Peter Ivan. Thank you so much, Peter. On the topic of firing deck, any idea how one shot works with it? Rules are written, it seems that the transport and model can each fire once since it's bearer. Peter, I'm going to go ahead and just honestly not read the rules as written. I'm not even going to read the rules on that. I'm just going to guess that the one-shot weapon just probably should be one shot, even though it does sound like rules as written. You could fire a one-shot weapon once inside a vehicle and then once outside because the bearer can only fire it once.
and then
But I think the
different
weapon
models
gets
bear it.
handed back and it's already been fired, and a bearer has already fired it.
Yeah.
I think we can just reasonably say, that we shouldn't do that.
Now, the nice thing about having actual people do TOing is that they can look at rules like that and just go, no.
Yep, that is the nice part. Yeah, so I see what you're saying. I think your rules is written actually correct, but I think we can just reasonably not do that. I would, if your friends try to shoot you twice with that, I would very politely ask them not to. Very politely.
Yep.
All right, and one more super chat from Tomcat. Warg! And that one has an R in it.
Yeah, that's Warg.
Warg!
Warg. Also,
And-
welcome to the War Room Bronze,
Woo!
Tomcat. Love having you here.
Tomcat, welcome. Thank you so much for your support. Means a lot for us.
With that orky energy, let's get right into it.
All right, we have Grot Tanks.
Grot Tanks. These are the little ones. These are the tiny little
ones.
boys.
I'm gonna pull the Munitorum Field Manual over here.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. We don't
Alright.
need to click back and forth.
Cool. Grot Tanks. So this is a T6 5 wound 3-up save vehicle.
Okay, so that is the same durability as a Killican. But it moves 10, not 6.
Oh, that is significantly faster.
Yes, it is. So the Grot Tank... Oh, Grot Mega Tank. The Grot Tanks are 4 for 155.
So that's slightly less than 40 points per model. But they come in a unit of either 4 or 8. That is very funny.
That
Each
is
one,
a lot. Actually,
Oh.
you get a lot of dudes.
so that you scatter when they get near you.
Yes.
Which means that when an enemy unit ends a normal move, advance or fall back within 9 of this unit, it can make a 6-inch normal move.
I already love this.
So this is a very funny, cheap screen.
Points, profile, and rules, I already love it. 155 for 4 is great. Now, what guns do they get?
They can have their big shooter replaced by one of the normal Ork weapons, and for every 4, one of them can have one of these in addition.
So one just has a second.
So one has a second.
Can you go up?
So basically, 4 has 5 weapons.
All right, so custom mega cannon, it's not bad. Rocket launches, pretty good. It's got blast. Grotzuka is a lot of shots with 0 AP. I feel like you're taking these with custom mega blasters or rocket launchers.
And you're just overcharging?
Yeah, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're cheap, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Probably rocket launches. Blast is kind of obscene sometimes. So I would probably just take them all with rocket launches, one with the second one. And 5 rocket launches, especially into like a 5-man squad, is a lot of shots. It's like 15 shots.
And these are ballistic skill 4.
Yes, Grots are ballistic skill 4. I love these.
There's one problem I have with these otherwise very cute and adorable tanks. A unit of 4 is 8 points on bringing it down.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Or is it not models? It's not units, it's models.
It's models, yeah.
Okay. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Because the thing is that you're probably taking other vehicles in an Ork list.
Yeah. Also, you can just take a lot of Grot tanks, and then boy, is that a lot of rocket launches just heading downfield.
I mean, if you want to spend 930 points. That is
24 Grot Tanks.
is 27 rocket launches. That's cute.
It's a lot.
I don't think that's as efficient as the Eldar Lynx, but whatever.
All right. I'm putting a no more Eldar jumping on the bed.
Okay. These are very cute. I like them.
I think these things are great. Honestly, they're good as a skirmish piece because they just move when your opponent moves up. They shoot decently, which is, they hit on 4's base, which is great. I like these things quite a lot.
I think these are pretty good. All right, datasheet number 2, the Grot Mega Tank. It's like a Grot Tank, but mega.
Yeah, and I do think you take the rocket launches. Now, looking at it, it's the same number of shots on average. The only thing that changes is whether you can shoot into combat, but you get the plus attacks off blast, which I love.
Yeah. So this is a much bigger tank. It's actually just a tank. T9, 3 up, 12 wounds. Very cool. The Grot Mega Tank is going to cost 110, which is not expensive.
It has bizarrely resilient.
Oh, cool. It reduces AP by 1. So that's actually quite durable, all things considered.
Yes.
And then it comes with, I believe it has like 7 weapons or something.
It has too many weapons.
All right. So it has Mega Tank weapons, twin Big Shooter, twin Grot Zuka. And it can replace those with the normal twin Ork weapons. So you could get 2 twin custom Mega Blasters.
Can you go up?
And
just
then
make sure that they're exactly the same. They're just twin linked. Boo.
So it's rapid fire 10, 5, 0, 1, 10 shots. So 10 or 20 shots with like just a bucket load of shooters. And you can no longer replace every shooter with a custom Mega Blaster. But you could get 2 twin Mega Blasters, which honestly is 4 shots at 9 2d6 rerolling.
I think you take the twin rocket launches still, but
yeah.
That is less. I would have really liked to have had like 4 rocket launches instead of 2 twins. But
yeah, 2d3 shots blast. This is actually still quite respectable damage output. 8 inches, it's a little bit slow for a tiny Grot battleship, but it's kind of funny.
The thing is bizarrely resilient.
For
sure. Like, it's a tank that just reduces incoming AP by 1. Most of the time it's going to mean it like has a 2-up. If it's in cover, it's 110 points for that profile. Doesn't do damage. But it is bizarrely resilient.
But it is bizarrely resilient. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
I like the Grot regular tanks better.
Probably because you could get essentially like 3. It like ends up being about 3 Grot tanks per Grot Mega Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is tougher.
I actually think you get 30 rocket launchers per 24 Grot tanks. I think it's 1 per 4 gets to double up.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of rocket launchers.
It's a lot of rockets. That's the Grot Mega Tank. Okay, we're going through the Squiggoths. We're here.
Ooh.
All right, this is big. T10, 18 wounds, 3 up save. Not towering, but it is a transport.
That is very
Comes
durable.
with firing deck 10, and it is actually very similar to the Galatas Dreadnought. So roll a dice.
The Achilles.
The Achilles. Yeah, you're right. Cool. So does some mortals. It's better on the charge. So on a 4+ does D3, on a 6 does 3, +2 if you charge. So pretty good. And then it comes with Gorin Horns, and let's just check these shooting. Can be equipped with a cannon. So it doesn't come with a gun, but it could.
If it's equipped with a cannon, does it sacrifice?
I think its transport gets a little worse.
Yeah.
I'll check that in a second. But Gorin Horns, this is fine melee. 4 attacks at 12 minus 2d6 or a sweep at 912. And then a cannon is just a ballistic skill 5. This is a cannon. This is, I think, the same as in other Ork places.
I believe so, and they are not awesome.
And it is if it is equipped with a cannon, it has a transport capacity of 6. It can't transport mega armor, jump packs, or gas skull. So it either holds 10 dudes or 6 dudes.
Damn, this thing is 150 points. Don't compare it to anything else that's roughly in that range.
It is not that expensive for being relatively durable.
It is also pretty durable.
It is a transport that is not slow, kind of awkward to move around the table, actually has real combat. And
it holds 10 models?
Holds 10 models if you take the cannon.
If you don't take the cannon.
If you don't take the cannon.
I would really wish this thing had 11 model transport capacity.
So that you could put a Badruk in as...
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well, doesn't Badruk only buff the unit, not like the transport holding the unit?
Yeah, but you can't fit... Well, what I want is for a transport so that the transport can go get the guys out and just...
Fair. Yeah, it holds 10. I'll just take 9 and Badruk. It's a thing you could choose.
No! I'll take a truck. I'll take Bad Truck, for sure.
The Badruk and the Badruk?
That's right. I'm not...
Honestly, because this is only 150 points, I think this is actually very solid. 18 wounds is just a lot. For a 150-point transport, it is a lot of effort to kill.
It is a lot of effort to kill. It is. For 35 more points, you go up to toughness 12 with... Yeah, just toughness 12, and then also, I think has Armor of Contempt on the Battle Wagon.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah. So, like, I think if you're looking for durable transport, and the Battle Wagon holds 20.
Yeah. What if you don't want to muck about like all those city lads, and you like to do the old way?
What I would do is I would convert the Squiggoth up to look like a Battle Wagon.
All right, stop mucking about.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I stop mucking about, fool.
This is pretty good, not great. I think,
Yeah.
right, is where we're landing here. This
Yeah,
is cool.
it doesn't do a ton of damage, doesn't transport particularly well.
Yeah.
It is pretty durable. That's what I'll give it.
Cool.
Not that expensive.
Let's see what if GW did it right and did the Gargantuan Squiggoth the end next. Yes, they did. Thank goodness. All right, this is much bigger.
That is huge.
13 wounds, T13, 30 wounds, towering, firing deck 20. Seems huge. I've played against 3 of these before. I won. It was actually much harder than I wanted. Back in the day, they were a 4-up save, and I was bringing all grav guns. I was like, oh god, no. This thing's incredible.
Yeah, it
It's
seem that way.
so it's like 3. It's like 2. It's kind of like 2 Squiggoths kind of strapped together, but T13.
How many points is this thing first?
I think it's about 455. But like 30 wounds, man, that is not.
Gargantuan Squiggoth 440.
440. So this
That
is
thick.
thick.
And in combat has 18 attacks at 9 minus 2, damage 3.
Yeah, or 6 at damage 12. Lance. Boom! Like, a Gargantuan Squiggoth on the charge basically flips any vehicle in the game.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, strength 14 plus 1 to wound means it's hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s.
hitting on 3s with exploding 6s.
Cool. So
You
you're
can
on
also make it exploding 5s if you feel like it.
So you're probably putting down about, and it's average is swingy with no rerolls and like low cost here. But we are looking like you put about 4 or 5 wounds on any vehicle you charge with the huge Tusks strike. That is very good.
That's just, you're
It
dead.
is. It's just dead, yeah. Can move our models 4 inches like they weren't there, blah, blah, blah. It's Gargantuan.
Deadly Demise
And
2d6.
no penalties to hit rolls for when you make an attack, even if you're engaged.
Let me check something.
So if you get stuck in, you can still shoot no penalty with all its guns.
I feel very curious about a rules interaction for orcs. Carry on. So what did you
gonna
talk about
Are you
shooting?
going to try to careen it?
Oh man, you know where I'm going with this.
Is that where you're going?
That is 100% where I'm going.
Got it.
It is vehicle only on Korean.
There you go.
So
Deadly Demise 2d6, firing deck 20.
well, I was wondering if you roll the 6 on Deadly Demise 2d6, do you just call an ambulance but not for you?
I guess. It explodes where it lies. Holds 20. If it is equipped with a super cannon, it holds 15.
That still
so
seems fine.
it can be one of the following, either a cannon or a super cannon. So the super cannon, so cannon is the same.
And this can hold gas as well. It says it can hold gas, it takes 18.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's too many places.
Yeah.
So if you were to take a Gargantuan Squiggoth with a super cannon, which I think you would just do, it is 2d6 shots at 12 minus 2, 3. And yes, it's only ballistic skill 5, but this is better enough at the cannon that I'm willing to take.
Oh my god, because it's not a vehicle, you can give it the -1 to wound strat.
Yes.
Woo! Good catch in chat. Good catch.
Yeah, like this thing doesn't actually die.
No, -1 to wound on toughness 13 is a joke.
Yeah, like I don't.
What kills that?
Quickly? Not me.
Literally only a Wraith Knight that can guarantee, alright, we're just stop. And I don't even know if quickly, because Wraith Knight does an obscene amount of mortal wounds, but it doesn't do them, love doing 30 in
I don't
one
even
turn.
think you do the dev wounds. You just use use your 4s and 5s just to make sure that you actually wounded and call it from there.
Yeah. But a Gargantuan Squiggoth with -1 to wound is
Hilarious to kill.
hilariously, impossible to kill.
Yeah, this is actually... It's a meme because of how hard it is to move around the table. For how thick it is, that is not that expensive. 440 is like a kind of reasonable points cost.
For toughness 13, 30 wounds?
Yeah, this is, incredibly annoying to wound.
Yeah.
I actually really like that. I think this is very good.
I actually think it's very good as well, because if this thing is just rumbling down main...
You do have to deal with it at some point soon.
Right, because shooting, whatever, doesn't really do anything, but it's going to hold... I honestly think you don't take the super cannon.
Well, you're just advancing it and you've got some dudes inside?
I think you have 20 dudes inside just waiting for this thing to crash clean
It's
into
like,
your
hey,
opponent's
if you
lines
ignore
and
me...
bleh.
Yeah.
20 dudes all over, and then this thing also just charges in and goes, hey, damage 12, because almost every single knight in the game dies to that.
Oh, everyone.
Everyone that's not named Wraith.
Even that, man, if they've spent some fate dice, that could, actually... They fail 2 saves, they're toast.
Yeah, So they have to have those fate dice sitting there to auto pass them. Otherwise, because this thing rams into Canis Rex and it's going out the other side.
Yeah, this thing hits. So that's the range of Squiggoth. That's quite spicy.
And it does. How much does OC?
12.
12.
Jack loves it.
I think this thing's great.
I think it's great. I think this
think
is
this thing
really, really good.
I think this thing is amazing. And yes, you can fill it with a whole bunch of like the scariest knobs of all time and just rumble clean down Main Street and then get them all out in your opponent's lines.
Yeah, this thing's crazy.
I'm super about the Gargantuan Squiggoth.
That's really good.
It's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, that is super scary. Let's talk about the kill tank.
Yep.
20 24 wounds. This is bigger than I thought. Deadly Demise D6 plus 2, blah, blah, blah.
And again, if that ever rolls that Deadly
10.
Demise, you're spending 1 CP to drive that thing into the center of your opponent's army where it will earn its name.
All right. Let me just take a quick peeky. What does this come with? So it holds 12 dudes. Bursta Cannon, Scorcha, Twin Big Shooter. Replace the Bursta Cannon with a Giga Shooter. So it's either a Bursta Cannon or a Giga Shooter. So your choice of 3d6 at
Blast.
14 minus 2, 3?
At Blast.
What the heck?
It also gets +1 to hit if it's a unit within half range.
Okay. Or 30 shots, sustained 1 at 611.
No.
It's the Bursta Cannon, right?
Cannon, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wait, that's the other thing you can do with the Gargantuan Squiggoth. Is firing deck 20, right?
Yeah.
You just load it with Burner Boys. 20 Burner Boys.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Overwatch.
And then you Overwatch with 20 Burner Boys.
Yes. Okay. So there's the... Alright. So Scorcha, whatever. Twin Big Shooter, cool. Reinforced Ram is actually decent melee. 8 attacks at 912 hits on 4s. Very respectable. Here's the important thing. The Bursta Cannon hits very hard.
Very hard.
Now let's just do a quick check on how many points are you willing to pay for a 24 wound kill tank. 305 is actually very cheap. T12, 24 wounds?
Yeah, it hits on 4s in 18 inches. There are ways, I think, to give it +1 to hit, but you can't stack that twice.
Yeah, but like a mech is +1 to hit, right?
Yes, but you can't stack that twice.
Sure. But that's an insanely good profile.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. 14 minus 2, 3 is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Like, that's a defense, that's a knight.
Yeah. Which ain't soft. For 305.
Yeah, it's not towering, but like, still, that's a knight.
And it has transport capacity, right?
And it can transport
12.
12 infantry as well. And that gun is better than most knight guns, even hitting on 4s.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
And that melee is not much below a knight melee. It is, but it's not that much.
Okay.
Come on. It's
8 attacks hitting on 4s, as opposed to like the gigantic 8 damage smacks of doom.
I'm referring to like a sweep. But yeah. 305? That is...
It's cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more impressed with the Gargantuan Squiggoth personally.
Agreed, but cheap.
Cheap.
And that's, again, it's just a brick of wounds for not that expensive. Ludicrous. Okay. Wow. The Mega Dread. I'm sure I'm going to be mad about this in the Mega Dread. Hold on. T10, 16 wounds, 2 up, 6 up. So glad they gave it a 6 up.
Yeah, that won't matter at all.
Hilarious. It does mortals, adding 2 to the charge roll. So same beginning of...
No, that's Mega Carnage.
It's the same roll as the Squiggoth.
Yes.
If this model is equipped with 2 Dread Kill Saws, they have Twin Linked. If it's equipped with 2 Rippa Claws, they have Twin Linked. Okay, so you choose to either have 2 of one of these. So you're either 4 attacks, 14 minus 3, 4, or 6 attacks, 12 minus 2, 3.
With exploding 6s to hit,
and
potentially +1 attack, +1
almost certainly Twin Linked, whichever way you do it.
Yes.
And let me just see.
But what about your boom bits?
2 Boom Bits, Kill Cannon. Kill Cannon.
Can be replaced with a melee weapon.
Okay. So you're going to have the...
You could have 2 kill cannons. What's the ballistic skill on it?
It's +6 skill.
5.
So yeah, the kill cannons, you could be 2d6 plus 6, not blast at 922. Ballistic skill 5. Or you could be... You can't have more than...
Well, the boom bits are free.
Oh, the boom bits are just in there. So it's just 2 kind of flamers.
Kind of flamers.
Like
they don't ignore cover.
Okay, fair. So it's slightly worse, but still...
They boom bits.
The boom bits. So you either have the kill cannon and a weapon, or 2 kill cannons or 2 weapons.
Yeah.
I think I would take a kill cannon and a weapon, but like 2 kill cannons is not bad. How many points is a Mega Dread?
225.
That's a little too much.
16 wounds is a lot of wounds, but I think it's too much.
Yeah, I think it's just slightly overcosted. Just slightly. Not much, but slightly.
I would put money that Mecha Dread... I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure Mecha Dread will hit on 4s, because I think it's the mech version of a Dread.
Let's find out together.
Let's see.
Mecha Dread.
Nope!
Same thing. Comes with a kill cannon, no bits. However, at the end of your movement phase, select a friendly orc vehicle within 3 inches of this. That vehicle regains up to D3 lost wounds and add 1 to the hit roll. So it can
It's just a
buff
mech.
itself. Just pick yourself for the +1 to hit and heal.
Sure.
Okay, same dead rippy thing. So it loses some mortals. Is it just the same thing?
It's just the same thing, but instead of the mortals, it heals and buffs, which is better.
So it lost the flamers, paid 5 points to always heal D3 wounds and give itself +1 to hit.
Yes.
That's way better.
I think you take double kill cannon on this one.
Yeah, you could, but also you get the melee hitting on 2s. You probably do. Yeah, why does the Mecha Dread just do it on itself? That's funny.
Because the mech's inside. Dink, 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 dink.
Yeah, that's how you show them. 230 is still like slightly too expensive, I think, but this is actually a very respectably good profile.
Yeah. All right.
I still think it's a little too much. All right,
We got a big track.
So this is a transport.
It is
doesn't-
not 50 points like a truck.
It is not, which is going to make it a hard sell, but it's still not bad. So what does it do? It does only when it charges does it do mortals on a 2 through 5 D3 on a 6/3. It comes with it can take a super cannon. Oh, a super cannon is not the same as the super cannon of the squig thing.
No,
Let me just
that's
see what
a
this can take.
different cannon.
2 big shooters, cannon, or super cannon.
And then it reduces its transport capacity.
That's
From
true.
12 to 6.
Is equipped with a kill cannon. So just take a...
Take a...
It can't take a kill cannon.
Okay, the super cannon is definitely supposed to be a kill cannon.
G-dubs! Come on. What are we doing here? Okay. Alright, assuming it meant to be the super cannon, this is better than a cannon. It's a super. It's D3 plus 3 instead of D6, and it's 3 more shots. If you did that, I would take the transport capacity and just have a cannon.
Yeah, it's a toughness. It has 2 more wounds, doesn't heal, is toughness 9 instead of 8. It's a truck.
Comes with a 6 of invulnerable.
25 more points, it's super not worth it.
So it's 75?
Yeah.
That's like still not bad.
25 points for +1 toughness, +2 wounds.
I acknowledge that it's because the truck is ludicrous.
Yeah, the truck at
But
50
this is a
worse.
very good transport.
Yeah, it's a great transport.
Yeah, this is a very good transport. It just so happens, because it's also firing deck 12, just so happens that the regular truck is also crazy.
Yeah, the regular
Does
truck
the regular
is-
truck move 12?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, probably better to just take a truck, but this is actually very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
+1 toughness, +2 wounds. That is actually
It's good. I don't
almost
think it's worth it.
That might be.
And they're both good.
They're both good.
I don't have a problem with either. Warboss on Warbike is back, baby doll. Let's go. This guy was amazing.
Hold on, he's a leader. Wonder who he can join.
Oh.
No one. Back to you.
Wait. Sorry, try that again.
Oh, he's a leader. Let's see what he can join. No one. Back to you. Wonder if he's equipped with a kill cannon. Alright, he comes with a... So while he's
alright.
leading a unit,
All right.
each time they make a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So not him. Definitely not him. Each time this model's unit advances, don't make an advance roll, add 6. Attaboy.
Okay.
Let's just assume he gets added to bikes.
Let's assume he joins bikes and knobs on more bikes.
Alright, probably both, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
He
okay.
comes with a power claw.
Yeah, he comes with a power claw, which is fine. He comes with a kill saw, which is 3 attacks. He comes with a big choppa. He does not hit very hard. He is not the same as a regular war boss who, during the Wog turn, gives himself +4 attacks.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. He's faster, but honestly,
He doesn't look that good.
not that impressive.
85 is cheap. Are any of the bike units hard hitting enough in melee that +6 advance on the Wog turn is like really worth it?
I think it would be knobs on warbikes, and I think they already have that.
Oh, okay. So then I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? This is just like not...
Not great, no.
Okay, it's fine.
I mean, he gives them +1 to hit, so if you can make a knobs bomb on warbike,
Wait, knobs on war bikes are right here.
they're right there.
I didn't even realize those weren't in the codex.
No, knobs on warbikes is a Forge World model. You're thinking of the warbiker mob. which are fine. They have choppas.
Okay,
The knob has a claw.
All right, so this one does not flat advance 6.
Or a big chopper.
So if you
Okay.
could,
All right. Flat advance 6 is quite
let me
nice.
just see what they can get. I'll just take a peek.
Any number of models can have any
Of the combats.
any of the combat.
And they all
weapons.
come with a slug because it's free.
Well, so the power stabba and the kill saw and all that are not something knobs can take. They can take either power claws or big choppas.
Power stab of being a lance is cool. I think I'd rather have the power claw.
Power claw is probably better. The kill saw is quite good, but only 2 attacks is wild. It's only 2 attacks on mega knobs as well. Not a big fan. If I'm going to be real with you, these things are just over 41 points a model each. They're like 41, 42 points a model. For that, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I mean, how much is a knob on bike? 125, so it's like 40-ish points.
Yeah, it's
each.
41 to 42.
It's just 3 no matter what.
It's 25 a model for a warbiker. It's about 41, 42 for knobs.
It's not exciting.
Not exciting.
4 wounds, T6, 4 armor. I don't care.
Yeah, not a big fan.
That's orcs. Several of these vehicles and monsters are like, oh, that's actually really, really cheap for that profile.
Yeah. Their damage output outside of combat has been fairly mediocre. But the Gargantuan Squiggoth, once it's in your lines,
Very
is
funny.
causing a problem fast.
It is very funny.
He also moves over dudes, so like...
Yeah, that part's cool.
And you also, if you put a bunch of guys inside, you can't really end a move within 12 to move block him, because you get roasted.
Oh, okay. Here's the problem. He doesn't actually move over things because he is longer than his movement characteristic.
How big is this thing?
Have you not, seen one?
No, not
It's
in person.
actually this big.
It can
A Gargantuan Squiggoth is massive.
Here's what you do. He Tokyo drifts along the battlefield.
He's just doing the crab walk.
Yeah.
Tink, tink. There you go. We'll make a Gargantuan crab for them all to ride.
He just power slides. Because I doubt he's wider than his move
He
characteristic.
is not.
Yeah.
Okay. That is is where we close out orcs. Overall, a couple of those vehicles and the Gargantuan Squiggoth are like, actually, you could build around it. None of them are like, oh, this has redefined the faction good. But several of those were like, man, if you own one of these, put it on the table. That's actually good.
A Gargantuan Squiggoth just rumbling down main with Burnas is
minus 1 to wood.
going to... Yes, that CP... He basically just taxes you a CP a turn in exchange for being immortal.
Funny enough, anti-monster vehicle stuff is completely unaffected. So actually, ironically, Squighog boys kind of wreck them.
Yes. Well, 30 wounds. And they get a 4-up against it.
Yeah, so just put 30 wounds on it, and then he fails half, and they're damn ship.
That's hard. that's tough, especially when... How many attacks did he have at the sweep profile? He had 18 and damage 3.
Damage 3, yeah, it's a lot.
Swoop! Get swapped.
Yeah, wild. So that orcs are pretty good.
Orcs are pretty good.
Orcs, the Forge World stuff here is actually quite impressive. I think
Yeah.
that's an upgrade for the army for sure.
Consistent theme is shooting damage kind of low, durability, toughness.
Yeah, but
all
the
weirdly
Forge
high.
World shooting was actually not bad. It was shockingly not bad. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
But it was better than I was expecting.
Double
shooting.
Mecha Tank with 2d6 plus 6 shots that hit on 4s is not bad.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right. Well, let's move on to the last Xenos faction here. We're almost done. There were 6 of them. We've done 5. We've saved the very best for last. That is my beloved Tyranids. Let's go! There are only 4 data sheets, so this will be a relatively easy one. And after this, we'll take a short break before we review Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights.
That's right.
So let's hit the Barbed Herod Duel. T12, 18 wounds, 2-up save. Very in-between a knight profile. A little bit tougher than a lot of the other Tyranid bugs. A lot of the bugs in this kind of stat line are T11 and a 3-up and 14 wounds. That's where the Horus Specs and the Ice Queen and those kind of things fall. So this is kind of like a Tyrannifex in defense. A little bit tougher, but not minus 1 damage. Alright, it comes with 2 biocannons. Let's just confirm. Yep, this is the Barbed Herod Duel. So this is 2d6 plus 6 blast at 922.
It's pretty good.
Not bad. After this shot, select an enemy unit hit by it, and while the model's on the battlefield, while this model's on the battlefield, that enemy unit is suppressed, so it's minus 1 to hit. So basically, make something minus 1 to hit, and then its melee is merely 8 attacks at 14 minus 2 d3 plus 3. Barbed Herod Duel still is a Tyranid. Do not forget.
Still gets flipped by a Gargantuan Squiggoth, though.
I still will do some work on a Gargantuan Squiggoth. That'll hurt.
That'll hurt.
That'll hurt real bad.
Yeah, it won't be fun.
This is cool. I think this is about 300 points. 305. That is very distinctly not bad. I think 305 is like a little bit more than I want to pay for that, but like I don't.
That's a good profile.
It's a good profile. Like it can't really be much cheaper either.
No, if it's cheaper than that, it's spammable. You don't want this thing to be spammable. Honestly, it might even be because that profile is very good in multiples.
Yeah, just weight of the strength 9 is a little rough because it wounds a lot of normal tanks on 5s.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know how good your long range shooting is into tanks.
Terrible. Really looking for something to shore that up, actually.
Yeah, that's...
this is actually, like...
It's not what you want.
I think this is statistically the second best shooting unit we have now. Like, the Zone Perp is the only thing that wounds tanks better than this, because it's the only other thing that's, like, more than strength, like 5.
Yeah, Zoe's seem pretty good.
Zoe's are pretty great. I don't mind this at all. I think this is pretty good. Don't think it's mandatory, but I like it. I have 2 of these already, so, like, I could really be convinced to put this on the table.
Yeah.
Barb Pterodule.
We got Scythe Pterodule.
Cool. The Scythe Pterodule is next.
Does
also
it move any
305.
faster?
It does. It moves 12 instead of 8.
Seems pretty good.
Same defense plus 4 move. Only OC5 is actually kind of lower than I thought. It is a 3d6 621. It doesn't ignore cover torrent, so not a bad flame weapon. And it is the same profile in melee, but plus 2 attacks.
The Overwatch on this thing's pretty scary.
Overwatch is pretty scary, and it can declare a charge in a turn which it fell back. Cowardly. I think I'd rather just have the Barbie. You just get actual
just get real
guns
guns
instead of a cool flamer, and it's only 2 attacks less. And yes, you're 4 inches slower. Like, honestly, these thing is so hard to move because of the size of it that it doesn't actually, like, navigate upfield to go hit people anyways. It's a methodical push.
Yeah, you have more attacks in combat with the Barbie because you're shooting the whole time. Like, if you just think of that combat damage as just being guns, like, oh, you're doing more damage.
So yeah, I think I like the Barbie better, but this is still not bad. Again, this is a relatively thick profile, not that expensive. Fallback and charge is the part where I'm just like, this isn't real.
Yeah, you're not eligible to
stay in
fall back,
combat, shoot the
charge.
flame, or keep punching. Just keep punching. Keep punching.
It is very tough. It's the same points cost.
Yeah.
It is very tough. It is very tough. You could take 3 Barb Tyradules and 3 Scythe Tyradules.
You could fit that. I don't know if I want
That's
to.
1830.
I don't know if I want
And
to.
then you take a character and you're all set.
All right, we are getting to some funny stuff.
Yes.
Better anti-tank guns, first of all.
Substantially more
so this is
expensive.
a Titanic aircraft transport. Okay.
With hover.
T10, 3-up save, 30 wounds. Flies, hover, cool, synapse, whatever. It isn't synapse itself. So each time this model selected to shoot, you can use this ability. If you do until the end of the phase, add 1 to the wound roll, and then on a 2+, you take D3 mortals.
Why not just take D3 mortals? Why does it have to be on a 2+? That's so weird.
Anyways, I'm doing this every time.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because I would like my checks notes 2d6 plus 6 plus 12 blast shots at 10-3-3 to be plus 1 wound. That is what I like. I like this a lot.
That gun is crazy.
Now, it is significantly more expensive than Harridan, as it should be. It is $655. And unfortunately, I feel like this thing is not significantly tougher than a Knight.
No.
It's plus 8 wounds on a Questoris Knight, but is -2 toughness, no invuln.
The -2 toughness is
always
not worth it.
gets seen. Always. I don't know if you've seen the Harridan.
It's big. I've seen it.
It's like...
I know it's big enough that people remove the wings to be able to play it.
Yeah.
Which you're not
very,
allowed to do.
very, very funny.
Deadly Demise 2d6.
Yeah. Deadly Demise 2d6. Back in the day, I should point out, both this and the Hierophant had frenzied metabolism, and they traditionally have the same gun. So I'm really hoping the Hierophant also has frenzied metabolism. We'll find out soon.
We'll find out soon.
For the Hierophant, T14, 30 wounds, 2-up armor, 5-up invuln.
Yeah, that
does in fact have the same gun.
Jesus Christ.
And it also has a flamer.
I will say, toughness 14 instead of toughness 10 and 2-up save instead of 3-up are not 0 durability upgrades.
Yeah. It's also hilarious in combat. It is 8 attacks at strength 20, AP 2, at D6 plus 1. I don't know, man.
So if you get hit by that thing, which is the size of a skyscraper,
yes,
and you have power armor, bounces a third of the time.
Yeah, basically. Unless you're
if you spend a CP,
contemptful.
if you feel contemptful of it, then you bounce it half the time.
Yeah, it's funny. It's not actually good. It also then has 10 extra attacks at 511, which is cute. Here's what matters. Each time this model makes an attack that targets a unit that is battle shocked, it's +1 to hit. We're using all these battle shock rules, boys. And it can move over 4-inch tall terrain as if it wasn't there, including enemy models. But don't worry, it is in fact larger than its 12-inch move.
Yes.
Sadly, doesn't get the
I
+1
actually don't know
to
if
win.
it is, right? Wasn't it just deployable?
It is a little bit over 10 inches wide.
So then you're just barely there.
No, because you were an inch away, and then you have to get to an inch away.
I'm talking about going over terrain.
Oh yeah, you can move over terrain. You can't move over models. And actually, you can just stand over them because it doesn't have a base, so it's pretty easy.
Stand over the terrain? Yeah, you just up
and over. Just spider. It no longer has fly, a significant nerf from what it used to have, which is beautiful. I miss when it had fly.
Why did it have... It didn't need to have fly.
It did. This thing is very funny. I really want this to have that +1 to wound to justify... This is a lot of shots at 10-3-3, but as soon as you're winning on 5s, it doesn't feel like a lot of shots.
Yeah, I will say Deadly Demise 2d6 is very funny.
It is. It is.
It's a
to me, it is a transport. I forgot about that, yeah. Holds 20 Tyranid infantry. If they're multi-wound, they take up 3 models.
So not only did it lose fly, it also hates models that can fly.
Yeah, you can't transport, because only Gargoyles can get in the other one.
The Harridan?
Yeah, the Harridan holds like 20 Gargoyles or something. This is very funny. I don't think it's worth 810 points, unfortunately. This, to me, reads like it is better than a Castellan. It doesn't read to me like it is a lot better than a Castellan.
I will say it is almost impossible to put away. But
See,
the difference
like,
between 14 and 13 is not that big.
Yeah, that's not a huge breakpoint.
Because there's not that many strength 13.
Very little.
There's some strength 14.
Yeah, there's
that
some.
You get wounded on by 4s.
And that's cool.
Or wounded by on 4s.
But like it is only 6 more wounds than a Castellan, and it doesn't have an inherent feel of pain. Now you can give it a feel of pain, so like let's be honest here, it just is gonna have a feel of pain.
Also, this thing dies to a Gargantuan Squiggoth.
I don't actually think it does.
Damage 12?
5 feel of pain.
5 at feel of pain?
It's 1 CP.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just a turn thing.
Sure.
Funny enough, it lost
damage 12.
It lost Synapse. Which is very unfortunate. Lost Synapse. I wanted it to have that. This is very funny. I don't think any of these Tyranid Forge World data sheets are like actually crazy good. The Barbed Herodule is actually probably the best one just because it's quite cheap for a thick stats block. This thing is thick. It's not 800 points. Yes, Will I really am stick 6 Pyrivores in it? Top memes. Love it. But I think that if someone like could kill a Castellan, they could kill a Hierophant.
I think it is.
It'll take a little longer, but not 300 points longer.
It's a pretty good profile. It is not an 800 plus point profile.
Yeah, this thing feels like it's like 100 more than it needs to be.
To make 800 points, you need to be real good. You have to be an army in and of itself, and it just
isn't that.
Just
and
isn't
the Harridan, I think is like 50 points too much. Because like the Harridan profile is ludicrous, but it is also only T10, which means it will die.
And is not towering, so it does have to go forward and actually see for the greater good.
It is aircraft.
Oh, aircraft is the same thing we can see?
Aircraft towering.
Same deal.
All the same thing.
Sweet. It's some good shooting, but it is 655 for some good shooting. Some really good shooting, but like...
Not that.
Not 655 points worth.
Yeah. So, overall, that's Tyranids. I don't think any of the Tyranid stuff is significantly making an impact. Barbed Herodule is the only one that I think is meriting consideration in my eyes. Barbed Herodule is really not bad. I don't know if it's going to make the cut, but I do like it.
For 305, it's a good profile.
It's a good profile.
Yeah.
That, is going to wrap us up for the stream. So, that is the end of our Xenos stream. We do have one more video we're going to do. That's going to be Knights and Chaos Knights. That'll probably be happening very shortly. But as soon as we wrap this up, we'll go set the time on that, and then you'll be able to join us live for the final Forge World review stream. Woo! Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this with us. Hopefully, you really enjoyed the show. And again, Will I Really Am, thank you so much for that super chat. But we appreciate you all watching. Please like this video. Please leave a comment. Let us know which Xenos armies you play, which Xenos models you're most excited for, which Forge World purchases you're considering. And then make sure that you share this with your friends, and take a look at the link in the description below. That'll get you access to the Art of War Worm. We're actually running a free 3-day trial right now. If you've been watching our content, or if you're new to us and you're kind of wondering what's in the War Room, now is the best time to join. So, thank you so much for watching, everyone. We really appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you soon. Stay tuned for Imperial and Chaos Knights in the last video of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye.